Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to a Punched Out Thursday to Die For with Kathy, Krista, myself, and Dorothy. And today we'll all be using our punches or dies to create our layouts. And I don't think I have any dies. Well, I take that back. I am going to use some dies, however, they're already punched out, cut out. And I'm just going to pull them out of the envelope. Uh, this is my granddaughter Hope, and she was dressed as a fox for Halloween 2018. And I do have my Build a Fox punch, but it's pretty small. It's pretty much made for a small card. So I wanted to make the fox bigger, so I'm using my punches to do that. For the body part, I used a large and two small ovals, and I have a square that's cut at 1 1/4 inch, and I'm going to round it off with my punch, my oval punch. And see how it looks like a piece of pie now? That's what I was going for because of the fox's head. I was thinking it may not work, but it did. It worked all right. I mean, maybe not 100% like the Build a Fox, but it is, it's fine for punches. And I cut off two petals for the face and then a little tiny heart from the heart punch for the nose. Now you could have used a little circle instead of a heart, and I did think about that, but I like the heart, so I went ahead and used the heart instead. You could use the same circles that I'm using for the eyes. And see that oval punch sitting over there to the left? I was going to try to cut those little ovals down with the punch somehow, but then I thought of this petal and I thought, well, two petals ought to work. There was like a little tiny spot that looked ragged on the top of its head, so I went ahead and trimmed that off. And I am going to make ears to go on there, and I'm going to use the butterfly punch, although I don't see it laying there. Yeah, I do. It's right there in the middle. I already moved it over. And then that little red one is a bird. I think it's a dove. And I'm going to use the wing on it for the inside of the ear. And of course, I've got to have highlights. So I'm going to add a few highlights to it. And then I'm going to have to add a few more in a little bit because I've added more to my little fox here. And I could have left his belly like white, like the rest of his body. But I decided since there's going to be trim that's got this plaid that I just use it instead. And I'm going to make the tail out of another oval. That's where I remembered I needed to get the oval back so I could make the tail. I considered making the scallops for the fox's tail by hand, which would have been super quick. But since it's punched out Thursday, I used my punch, and they're a whole lot more even that way. And so I just put the white on the tip of the tail. Now this is my mini scallop punch. Both of my scallop punches are the same width around, only one has smaller scallops. And this one's my mini, and I like using it for the hands and feet and stuff. And I am going to use it for the feet, and then the feet's going to kind of turn outward. And I'm going to trim a little bit off in between the heels so that you can tell that it's 2 feet pointed outward. And since it's a girl, I thought I'd punch out a little bitty, teeny, tiny flower. Yeah, it's small, so it's kind of hard to hold because you'd have to push it with your thumb. So I had to just set it down and push it with my hand to get it to go down. But it's tiny. And now I'm punching out a center for that little teeny, tiny flower. Yeah, it's not a very big one at all. I have another punch that punches small ones, but it's like the purple punch laying there, and it's a whole lot easier to punch. I don't know what made me decide to get this one. I thought I'd use wood grain for the background. Since there is wood grain in the photo, this is my daughter's house, and I'm sitting right across from Hope. when Melody took that picture. I didn't bring my camera, and my phone didn't take near as good a pictures as hers did with the with the cell phone. So she took it, and it could have been better too, though. When I went, I didn't know I'd be seeing kids in costume. I stopped by her house, and she said they were on their way, and I might as well just stay there and save them a trip all the way out to my house. So I did. And if y'all will notice, her bag for Halloween is actually an Easter basket. Yeah, that's what they had, so that's what they gave her to use. And she was happy using it. And we always just take the kids to family and close friends. And when they're this size, when you do that, they don't want to leave. They want to stay there for a visit. They don't want to go to the door and trick or treat and then out. So they have to visit a few minutes. And there's another dye I used. I just totally lied at the beginning. I am going to use flower ones and this one right here, the little doily one. And I'm going to use, well, I was fixing my trim up before I actually adhered anything to the page. And the thing is, I just made this layout. Made it, walked in here and started editing it. You would think I could remember that quick, wouldn't you? I'm going to tilt my picture just a little bit, mainly because I wanted it to look like she was looking at the fox, and I like them tilted anyway. I pulled the stickers off the sticker sheet that said autumn, and the banner ones, and just tucked them up underneath well, I guess it's just a mat that's in the center of the page, and I'm just tucking them underneath there. I considered getting some twine, and then I thought, well, I think I'd like them just tucked under there, so that's what I did. I've got 2 sheets of these alphas from forever ago, and they've been sitting there on the shelf with a lot of older stuff in the closet. Well, if I pull them out and stick them in a collection, I think they'll go with, I'll be more apt to use them. And look at me, I'm using them again. Title is Hope, which is my granddaughter's name, the Foxy Trixter, because it was kind of on the funny side. She got stuff for her basket, but she wasn't very old there, and she wasn't 2 yet anyway. Anyway, she decided to get some dog food and put in there, so that's why we were calling her Trixter. The dogs didn't know what to think about it. And my daughter has an island in the middle of the kitchen with some bar stools. Anyway, she went and sat down between 2 of them and I think she was going to eat the dog food, but Melody caught her and seen her and got her some real food. I think it was cheese or a piece of lunch meat or something they gave to her, and she ate it instead. So since she was hiding between the bar stools, I decided to call her a trickster. And the flowers, like I said, I didn't actually cut them out today. They're from that die set there. And it's probably been well over a month since I cut them out. And I would have loved to have had 3, but I only had the 2. And it is pattern paper, and I wasn't sure which collection to look in to see what paper it was to cut another one. But be sure to check out the other gals and see what they did with their punches and or dies today, and see what kind of creations that they did playing with their tools. I I love using mine on a layout. There's plenty of times I'll get done with my paper and still have sticker sheet close to full and ephemera left and everything because I've been using my punches and my dies instead. I just like the hands-on thing. Of course, that's how I started out scrapbooking, is making everything that went on there. We didn't have a scrapbook store. We had a card store with stamps and paper, and I got paper there. I went ahead and added one more leaf because the other side seemed to go up higher. And now I'm wishing I hadn't, but I added it with liquid glue. But yeah, I think it will look fine without it going up another leaf. And I dug in that envelope for another flower too. And there was one. But that's it. That's my layout. And be sure to check out the other gals and see what they did with their dies and or punches today. And the links will be down there below. And if you leave a comment, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you who are, thank you so much. But yeah, that's it. That's my layout. And I think that fox is like a whole head bigger than the one I would have made with the Build-A-Fox. And yeah, I like it being just a little bit bigger. But I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.